It's summertime. The RightStuf birthday sale is running rampant, or I think at the time of this video releases, it's actually at its end. I'm excited to showcase you that and more that I happened to get in the last couple weeks in the month of July 2023. Now, this is going to not only have RightStuf galore finds, but also a lot of new releases as well. I did my usual and then some more as well. Before we get too deep in the mix and I give you the overhead cam, I do want to showcase two different volumes though, along with the fact that I also got this Pochita here. The first of the two books that I want to showcase is one that I was interested in for a while as soon as it was announced. You all know my goal for 2023 was to get more into art book, illustration books, etc., and came across Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, the art of the movie. This is of the new Spider-Verse movie that came out very recently, I think like a month or two ago at this point. This is a really cool and beautiful book. I've glossed over it a little bit already. Just some beautiful illustrations. If you do not know, in this movie, there are so many Spider-Men in this. Really, really beautiful designs as well, just like the first movie. I loved the Across the Spider-Verse movie. I thought it was really, really good. I'll avoid opening up more in case of spoilers, but you know I love this art style. You know I love this series, and I can't wait to see the next movie in the Spider-Man, Spider-Verse franchise with Miles Morales. No, God! I wanted to show you this. I know it's not manga, but it's so good. The second one I wanted to show you quickly is a series that I didn't really expect to get into, and I told myself, like, I don't know if I ever want to buy this. I had come across a Barnes & Noble that was doing a big sale, and then because of their new membership, I had like $10 or $15 off, and so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. I got the first volume of the giant deluxe editions of Berserk. This is a series that people have been asking me to get into. This is a series that people in my Discord have been asking about as well, and so I decided, seeing this, that I definitely was going to pick this up. This was part of my travels in honestly one of the cool, like, more modern Barnes & Nobles that I had seen, so it was very, very interesting to get into it. And although I haven't gotten into this series yet, I have heard so many things about this series. I'm not going to open it up too much. Explicit advisory, parental warning. I think I've heard kind of what happens in the first pages. Oh yeah, definitely cannot show this on screen. Berserk, a beloved series, RIP to Kentaro Miura, is one that people recommend across all different levels. It's got a lot of things inside of it. It's a long series still going on right now. Slowly, I guess I will get into these. Hopefully Dark Horse maybe reprints and Barnes & Noble has like a hardback sale at the same time. I don't know. All right, we're gonna start out with a little bit of the newer stuff. The first volume that I've got in the drop down camera, at least, it is the newest installment of Made in Abyss. This is volume 11, so I believe this goes past the anime and at least where it's at in its release, and I'm super excited to get into this, more into the Made in Abyss series. This is definitely a series that is not for the faint of heart. This is kind of like different aspects of horror alongside it, and especially what I've seen in its anime, and so this has a lot of gruesome stuff. This has a lot of great stuff as well. I think it's a phenomenal series. I highly recommend it if you love spooky stuff about the unknown, adventuring, that kind of series. I absolutely love Made in Abyss and will always recommend it. Another one I got right here is Blue Lock. This is volume 7. I need to continue Blue Lock. It's been a while since I've jumped into Blue Lock, and it's definitely a series that I need to get back on my radar. One of the better sports series that I've read up to this point, and even watched as well, having watched some of the anime. I love this series. It's a different twist on soccer, and it's a different twist on sports series in general. If you don't know what it is, basically they play soccer, but it's not exactly soccer. I think like 250 plus of the best attackers or strikers is what they call in soccer, basically offensive minded athletes. They put them in this new place and they have like a battle royale style with a bunch of these challenges and kind of like a death game aspect to where like if you don't pass, you don't make it, but the winner has a promise of being like the next striker for Team Japan. So there's a lot of like the individualistic aspects in sports and also competition as much as there is in team. So it's like way different than your usual team like Aoyoshi or Haiku or something like that. It's different and it's cool. It's a little cheesy at times, but it's shonen. Now we've got volume 5, the first light novel of this haul, Irina Vampire Cosmonaut. So this is well past the anime at this point. I watched the first season of the anime and I actually really liked this series. I thought it was a good kind of historical romance drama type side of it with like a fantasy supernatural aspect. I really enjoyed it. It's about the space race. It's about the space race from Russia's side, and so they're trying to send like different things up to the moon and stuff like that. And so after they send a dog and like a monkey and stuff, they decide, okay, the next thing is a vampire, but they're secretly doing it as a vampire, pretending that she's a human. And so obviously these two, you know, spark a love interest, things like that. And it's really good and I really enjoyed it. So if you're ever looking for something a little bit different in that, but you like kind of the old style, because I know a lot of old style anime and manga in terms of like historical, like not 2010 and beyond or 2000s, but I'm talking like 1960s, 1950s, stuff like that, even well before that, 1800s. I know a lot of that is popular right now and there's a lot of different series that people could enjoy, so add this one to your list. I really enjoyed it. This one doesn't really need much introduction. It's the latest volume of One Piece 103. I will tell you when I read this volume, and it's going to be a long time. You probably won't remember that remark because I have a long way to go to catch up in One Piece, but I do love this series. I did see the anime tease Gear 5 in the trailer, and then also the live action One Piece trailer just recently dropped, which I thought was really good. I don't think I'm going to do a video or anything like that, but I did think it was really good. You can hear it now. Mark my words right there. I think it's going to be one of the better live actions that's out there. I think it's going to compete with like a race and stuff in terms of its popularity, success, things like that. It looks really good. So One Piece, if you like adventure, you like fantasy, you like pirates, this is it. I don't know what else to tell you. Now, moving into a much lesser known series, but a mangaka that you probably do know, Tatsuya Endo's Tista. This is volume 2. So this is the final volume of the Tista short series by Tatsuya Endo. If you do not recognize that name, maybe this is the same creator as Spy X Family, a series that you probably do know. After the success of Spy Family, they ended up releasing this series, Viz Media did, and I went ahead and I started reading and stuff. I'm in the middle of reading volume 1 right now, and I've just started. So I can't really tell you what it is because I'm not even a fourth of the way done technically. I've only read like one chapter at this point, but it is a short 2-volume series. I don't exactly know how it ends, so I can't tell you if like it's a good series with a good ending or an ambiguous ending or something like a bad ending. Is it rushed? I assume it's probably a little bit rushed because it's only 2 volumes, but we don't know. The world may never, well, I mean, I guess the world does kind of know because it's been released. But anyways, I'm excited to try because I want to try out more series by creators I love. Now, something that so many people, including myself, were so excited about was the release and the announcement of Horimiya 100 Memorial Book, or I guess it's Horimiya Memorial Book page 100. This is basically an illustration and art book of the Horimiya series. This is absolutely beautiful. Flipping through it and stuff, there are so many good illustrations in here. If you're a fan of Horimiya, you will absolutely love this, and I highly recommend picking this up from Yen Press. And this is really cool as well for anyone who has not seen this in person yet. This has like a sleeve on it. This feels like a typical like Japanese takoban volume And if you don't know what I mean by that, is let me grab one of my volumes and show you. So this is like really typical of Japanese volumes. So you have this volume 1 of Ruri Dragon, the only volume of the series, because it's been on hiatus for over a year now, unfortunately. Hopefully it comes back someday. They always have this like sleeve that covers up, this protective sleeve that protects the book, and it's not always that it's like a rough sketch drawing that they have on the back side, but it's just something that's really, really cool that I really enjoy this from Yen Press especially. I hope Yen Press, maybe Viz, or just other people catch on to it, do it more often, because I don't know, I like protection for my books, and so even if it costs, I don't know, like $1 more, like I'm kind of into it. I'm gonna skip around to some of the other random volumes that I got in this haul. So first up, we have My Happy Marriage Volume 1. I got this as part of the RightStuf birthday sale. I heard that an anime started of this. I have not watched it yet. I did hear good things about it. I've heard some people say some good things of the couple episodes that have released at the time of this recording. And so with me needing like one more book in order to get free shipping on my RightStuf birthday sale order, I decided, you know what? People have been enjoying this. I'm gonna go check it out, see all what it's about. I think it's a shoujo or a josei. I can't exactly remember, so pardon me if I'm wrong. From what I read on the back of the book, like literally just now, because I haven't gotten a chance to read this yet. I've been making a reading log video for anyone who is curious on what I'm doing soon. This is kind of like a fantasy story of this girl with powers from her bloodline, and so she's kind of like shunned by her family and shipped off to a marriage to this person, and it is their marriage. That's all really that I know of this series, but again, when I get to it, I'll let you all know about it. The next book we got is the first volume, or well, the only volume of Your Lie in April, a 6-person etude. I love Your Lie in April. It is a beautiful series. It was a beautiful anime. It was a beautiful show. It was actually one of the first anime that I actually watched, and I gave it a 10 out of 10. This is a great series, and I'm excited to get into it in the novel form to relive the experience. There look to be some beautiful illustrations in there as well, so I'm excited to check out all that it has to offer. Yui Tokiyumi and Naoshi Arakawa are excellent creators. I mean, I'm excited. Again, I just sound like a broken record. I'm so ready for this. I don't know if my body is ready for this. I don't know if my mind is ready for this, but I'm ready for this, and that's all you need. The next thing that I got from the RightStuf birthday sale is a packet of 3 that I bought, 3 different volumes. I got the first 3 novels of Goblin Slayer. So a couple people in the past have recommended to me Goblin Slayer, and it's one that I've never really jumped on. I don't know why. I guess just in terms of like supernatural or fantasy kind of adventure anime, I've got my fill currently of what I want in that, and so I guess I never really got into Goblin Slayer, but RightStuf had a really good deal for the first 3 novel volumes. Again, I was looking for something to fill the cart to get the free shipping, so I was like, you know what, just toss it in there. I've heard pretty good things about this, and especially with the first 3 novel volumes, I can get a really good synopsis of if I feel like this series is worth continuing or not, because I believe it's in the double digits now in terms of the amount of volumes the novels have, at least. And there's plenty of manga volumes as well if you're looking to get into this series but you don't like reading novels. I've heard the manga is just as good. Moving into more, we have Classroom of the Elite Year 2 Volume 5. Again, I'm pretty far behind on Classroom of the Elite, but I keep buying these volumes because I enjoyed the first 3 or so volumes that I read, and now that I finally own 4.5, I can get into it, and I keep saying that, and I will keep saying that until I continue reading. So Classroom of the Elite, a really good kind of psychological drama. It's very much in the series of there is more than meets the eye, and especially of the main character, at least where I am, there's a lot of ambiguity around the main character, and he's very mysterious. So I'm excited, especially if volumes 4, 4.5, 5, 6, 7, all the way into year 2 and whatnot sort of reveal more and more about who he is and also the classmates around him. And yeah, I know plenty of people that love Classroom of the Elite on this channel, actually, in the comments. The next series has kind of got a double because they released at the same time. I have volume 4 of the novel and volume 8 of the manga of Higehiro. After being rejected, I shaved and took in a high school runaway. I love this series. It is one of my favorite series, and it's crazy as well. There's so much drama in it. It's so well done, at least from the anime perspective, and it's got to start somewhere, right? So I'm excited to get into the source material, which I believe is the novels, and then also getting into the manga as well, now that there's 8 volumes. I think there's one more volume, 1 week to say goodbye. I think there may be one more novel after this, or this is the final one. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest, but I'm pretty sure there's at least one more novel of the manga that's currently out. So if you like a little bit of drama, you like a little bit of kind of like rom-com stuff, and honestly, I mean, I don't really view this as like a romance anime, but I know a lot of people do, so I think it's probably appropriate to call it an age gap manga. If you like those as well, but has more of a serious tone to it, in my opinion, then this is definitely one that you pick up. It's like, it's uncharacteristic of me to like the series because I usually always stray away from age gap mangas, but I don't know, just Higehiro, man, it just hit different when I watched that anime. But enough of the romance and stuff. Let's get into the action and power punches. It's Kaiju number 8, volume 7. Now, I think I've already read this volume as well. Let's see. Yeah, in the 50s. I think I'm like chapter 64 or something in the manga, so next volume I can start reading Kaiju number 8 again. I started reading it online before it came out, volume 1 physically, so I love Kaiju number 8. It's a great action-packed series, has beautiful, beautiful, beautiful artwork, a wide cast of characters with a bunch of different attributes and stuff that each make them unique in their own right, and perspective and things like that. It is so fun and so good, and also the main character is like 32 years old. So we have an adult action kind of, I mean, it's still shonen, so there's like some goofy jokes and things like that, and the shonenness and stuff, but it's all in good fun, and it's so nice and so great. Has some of the more beautiful panels in terms of like full page, double page spread that I have seen in manga. Like, it definitely at its peak competes with series that I absolutely adore for their art, like Frere and Beyond Journey's End. But maybe you want to go back to the romance, but really wholesome, and people around the same age, and maybe a little bit of gay. You can get Hirano and Kagura. This is volume 3 of the manga. I love this series. This is a side series to Sasaki and Miyano, which is the original series. Absolutely love that as well. Makes my heart melt. So wholesome, so great, so good. I absolutely love it. Again, this is a great series. You want some romance, you want some scrumptiddly dumptious, this is where it's at. I love this series, man. Going now back to more of the action, but a series that I think is really flying under the radar in terms of the new releases of 2023. We have volume 3 of Shy. So Shy, I absolutely love this series. I read volume 1 because I saw like this new series. I think it was when Yen Press announced it in the video that I did with like K-On! And Oshi no Ko and stuff like that, when they announced a whole bunch of licenses, and I jumped on this and I was absolutely blown away. Bukimi Miki is excellent in terms of their art style, storytelling, just page spread as well. It is such a really good series in my opinion. I know I've only read a little bit of it, and there's still plenty of time for it to maybe go downhill or even get even better, but I really liked this first 2 volumes that I needed to get volume 3 as soon as possible, as soon as it came out. It's one of the few series that I make sure as soon as I get the volume I read. I put it ahead of like everything else. I'm excited to get into this. It just came in like not too long ago in the series. It is a superhero series, so think of like every single country getting a superhero, right? And Japan, it follows Japan's superhero, Shy. And as you can imagine, she's shy. And so this is also like a coming of age story as well, about like a high school teenager-esque girl who is a superhero, and identifying who she is and what kind of superhero she is and what she values and things like that. This is, I believe, Switzerland's. I think she's from Switzerland or Sweden. Something that starts with an SW. But this is a really cool series. Pick it up. We're gonna go back to a little bit of the more random things, not necessarily new releases. I have volume 3 of Kaiji Gambling Apocalypse. Kaiji volume 3. This is like, I believe, omnibus format from Denpa. I think volume 4 literally just came out, or volume 5, one of the two. But Kaiji, really, really good. If you like Kakegurui, but maybe you want a little bit less of like the horny side, or maybe you really liked Squid Game or something, this is a really cool series. I've read the first volume of it. I really enjoyed the gambling aspect, how they got into it, the stakes that are on the line, and it only gets deeper and darker and crazier as it goes on from what I've heard. So definitely want to get this if this is something that you're into. I do know, and I'll put it on screen if I'm incorrect and maybe voice over what it actually is, but I believe I saw that Denpa said that they were only doing Kaiji Gambling Apocalypse, which is kind of like the first part of the Kaiji series. This is a very long time series. I think it's still going on today, but another company has picked up the licensing rights of the next part of Kaiji, so be on the lookout for that. I don't know how it's gonna go or how it's gonna differ. Hopefully it doesn't differ too much, because it would suck if the bindings changed all of a sudden, or maybe it wouldn't, I don't know, because of like a different part. I don't really know. Another volume that I got that is not like a new release, Alice in Borderland Volume 2. So it's been a while since I've read Alice in Borderland, and a couple volumes have come out since I've read it, but again, back on the death game stuff, Squid Game, things like that. If you like that kind of action thriller type of stuff, Alice in Borderland is also a really, really good pick. I loved the first volume of Alice in Borderland. I believe these are omnibus volumes as well, so you can get a good hefty helping of the series with just one of the omnibus volumes. It's really, really cool. I liked the games in the first two volumes, or I guess the first omnibus volume, and I'm excited to see where it goes in this next one. The art is really cool as well. So super excited to read Haruo's series again. I know there's like a live action adaptation, or maybe it stems from the live action. There's a live action of Alice in Borderland that I've heard is just as good. So maybe you don't want to commit the money, but you got a Netflix subscription, go check it out. Go see it, go read it. It's worth it. Moving into volume 7 of Fruits Basket, getting a little bit on the lighter side, but also it's heavy in its own right, because wow, it's emotional at times. Volume 7, I believe, of the 12 collector's edition volumes. I'm slowly accumulating these, seeing these left and right, picking them up on the sly and things like that. Fruits Basket's one of my favorite shoujo series. Highly recommend it if you're looking for a really good, dramatic, intense shoujo. It is super fun. There's great characters in it. This is interesting though, because if you've read the first little bit of it, or you've heard me talk about it in other videos, this is of like the old classic art style, right? Because it's a reprint of the original manga, whereas like the new anime, the 2019 version, is way different of an art style. So don't let that deter you if that's a little bit jarring for you or something like that. That stark difference. It is still a great series in its own right, and it's one that is very, very enjoyable. I kind of actually recommend reading it first before more getting into the anime. I've heard that's actually a better experience, so go maybe try that. Getting into the next one, it is volume 9 of the Rascal Does Not Dream Of series, this one being Knapsack Kid. So I love the Rascal Does Not Dream Of series. It is so good. It is so wonderful. I love it so much. And this one, I believe, is the next installment of the anime in terms of the movie. It's like a sister traveling out and Knapsack Kid, I think, are combining into the movie. So 9 volumes. I think volume 10 just recently released, so I've got one more to be up to date on the series, I think, and I'm very excited. I mean, Rascal Does Not Dream Of is another kind of like psychological series, and very dramatic in certain aspects, but it also has like really good comedy inside. It has great characters as well, in my opinion, well thought out, well fleshed out characters as well. So there's a lot to enjoy in this series and its different aspects, and I think there's something that a lot of people can love in different bits and pieces of this series. So I'm excited for the anime, super excited to read this novel, and super excited to get into it. I also picked up volume 4 of Hikamoris Not Just a Cutie, a series that recently ended in Japan, and I don't know if the final volume's actually out in the rest of the world yet, or in the United States, but I'm starting to pick these up. I watched the anime of Hikamoris Not Just a Cutie. I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed the first season. It was beautiful, it was cute, but I've also heard that the manga is better, is more beautiful, is even better than the anime adaptation. So I'm really excited to get into Kaigo Maki's series, Hikamoris Not Just a Cutie. Love it. Hikamori, she is way more than a cutie. I mean, just Now these next 2 volumes are new releases and ones that I have been dying to get. I swear, I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. The first one being a volume 2 of a series. I read volume 1 when it first came out, and I was baffled about how good it is, and I'm so excited to read volume 2 later of Boys Abyss. This is an excellent drama series. This is a heavy series as well, especially in the first volume. There's a lot of stuff in it. This is like one of the series, like if you were like, Jake, make a list of some of the fucked up series that you've read, this would be on the list, and I'm excited to get into it. It's like a thriller of sorts, or like a psychological horror of sorts. I'm not 100% sure how exactly you classify it, except for like really freaking good. I know I would classify it that way, but Boys Abyss follows this kid. He's got depression, and he like meets this other girl that I feel like is kind of the same as him. And I don't want to say too much more, because I think a lot of their commonality is kind of what made the first volume like so gripping to me. I don't know. I mean, if you know, you know. It's, I mean, it hits, and I'm waiting. I can't wait to see if this hits too. I'm sure it will. But this series, this is on my list of most anticipated volume 1s to release in 2023. I'm so excited to finally have this in my hands. I've been waiting for so long. It is volume 1 of The Summer Hikaru Died. So this is a horror series. This is a scary, spooky series. I assume this is gonna have some sort of like thriller aspect to it, something along the lines of like Killing Stalking, if you're really into a series like that. I don't know if it's boys love. I thought I heard that it was boys love, but then when it was releasing, I think I saw that it wasn't boys love, so I'm not 100% sure if it is or not. But hear me out on this. 2 friends, one, I can't remember his name because I haven't read the volume yet. The other is Hikaru, who I think is this. They're best friends. All of a sudden, Hikaru disappears, just goes MIA for a length of time. I don't know if it's weeks, months, whatever. When he comes back, it's like all is well again, except there's something that's off, and you can't really pinpoint what it is, but it's an eerie, disruptive, scary feeling. It's a feeling of like fight or flight. That's what this series is about. It was hyped up in Japan. I was so happy when Yen Press announced this. I've been waiting so long. I can't wait to read it, and I actually plan, alongside Boys Abyss, I actually plan on making a video about it. So I gotta work out on how I want the video to be, because I want it to be like a good video, and I don't know if I've really made like a good video essay video, so it may be a while. But just give me time. All right, moving back into a more lighthearted action of sorts. It is Dandadan Volume 4. I love this series. It is so crazy. It is so goofy, but it's really good too, and it's got some great action in it. The art is incredible in this series. The monsters are unbelievable as well. I've talked about this series again and again, how fun it is, how good it is, how cool it is, and I'm excited to get into more of the Dandadan series. It's still ongoing, I believe, so still publishing and still going strong as well. So excited to get into the adventures. Kubo Won't Let Me Be Invisible. This is volume 8, a seinen romance comedy series that is very cute. I mean, That's what it is. It's very cute. This guy, he's so unnoticeable. Like, nobody knows who he is, even though he's around every day. He's in your class, things like that. He is just unrememberable, not rememberable. She though knows him, and she tries to get other people to notice him as well. So it's kind of like a teasing aspect as well. It's like a different flavor of the teasing genre in rom-coms. So definitely go check this out if you haven't. I know it's finished, and I think it finished at 12 volumes. So we've got about like 4 more volumes to go in the English releases until we're all caught up to date. It's cute, it's fun. It's not my favorite series in the world, but it's one that I keep reading, continue suggesting. It's just a fun little lighthearted read. Though it may get heavier in like later volumes, I'm not 100% sure because it is seinen. Next one that's up is another, I think this is also seinen actually, or maybe it's shonen. I can't remember. World's Finest Assassin gets reincarnated in another world as an aristocrat. This is light novel volume 7. I really enjoyed the first light novel, and I also enjoyed the first season of the anime, which I believe is the first light novel. And I'm excited to get into even more of this series. This is an isekai series, as you can maybe tell by the title. It's got great world building. It's got some really good characters. It's about this guy, this assassin, the world's finest assassin. He is reincarnated into this other world on a deal. His deal that he's made with this god is that he has to kill the hero essentially and save the world. And so you kind of go through his life, especially in the first volume, and you kind of see like, you know, he continuously like levels up. He continuously like gets better. He's pretty much OP, but like he's not like overly OP. It feels like he has like a really good even fight, in my opinion, in the first volume that is like the climax of the volume. But overall, really good. And I don't hear a lot of people talk about this. So if you're looking for an isekai that you can get plenty of, that's got kind of this cool, calm, collected protagonist, it's a good series. The next one, I haven't even taken it out of the wrap yet. Kowloon Generic Romance Volume 4. I read Volume 1. It was really good. I don't know what the like sci-fi aspect is of this series though, that I keep seeing tagged alongside of it. So I need to read volume 2 because apparently it's got like some sci-fi into it. And it's like, when in volume 1 was there sci-fi? So I don't know if it's like later installments in the series, like this volume or something like that. But I thought it was a good series. It's a good first volume, especially in terms of the romance aspect, but adult romance aspect too. So if you're tired of like the shonen high school romance life, you can get into the adult work life. And so there's a lot of like underlying narratives as well that look like are going to be really good in this series that can be built upon. And I don't know if Jun Miyuzuki really builds on it a ton or how fast they build on it and stuff, but I'm excited about this. I keep buying these volumes, so like, I mean, that should show that I enjoyed the first one. An interesting series. Looking at this cover, I'm not all the way up to date, but I watched the entire first season of the anime. It is Saibikubisco. This is volume 5 of the novels. So the novels just keep coming and coming of this beautiful series with beautiful artwork on the cover. And it's weird because Bisco, who is this guy, this is Milo, I think his name is, he's like a child. He's not usually a child. So I don't know what happens in this volume that makes him like so small, but this was a surprise to me. I don't know if you like. Okay, let me talk a little bit more about the series. This is a series about like post-apocalyptic Japan, where like rust has taken over the world essentially, or at least the country. So like if you love a good like shonen post-apocalyptic adventure series with some good action, this is a pretty good one. I don't think the manga is out, or if there even is manga of this, but it has an anime that you can watch on Crunchyroll, and it's pretty good in my opinion. Like, it might not be your favorite series ever, but it's a great one. All right, last volume we got here, Words Bubble Up Like Soda Pop. This is the light novel, the solo light novel of the Words Bubble Up Like Soda Pop series. You may remember me talking about manga volume 1. I loved Words Bubble Up Like Soda Pop. This is a kind of like romance movie that aired on Netflix, I believe like a year and a half ago, and it's really good in my opinion. The art style is beautiful. The score in the series is also really good. It's got awesome visuals. It's got awesome characters in it too. This is a great series. I absolutely loved Words Bubble Up Like Soda Pop. And I'm definitely interested in getting it in the novel form. I guess I'm getting into the manga form as well. But again, I'm excited to jump into it. I hope I enjoy it just as much as I did the movie, and definitely want to pick this up. If you like a one-of kind of romance style, like you're a big fan of like Makoto Shinkai movies or different movies like Josie the Tiger and the Fish, then this is another one that you need to put on your list and walk right up your alley. And so that's it. That's all, folks. That is definitely like record time for us in terms of a manga haul. I had a bunch of other purchases in the month, like the Chainsaw Man statue is coming later this month that I just put on screen over here. Like, I bought a whole bunch. If you've been following my Twitter and stuff, I've been buying a whole bunch of retro Pokemon cards. You may have also seen on YouTube in the community tab that I also bought a Super Nintendo. And also I've been getting into streaming as well again. So I think by the time this video airs, I'll have streamed like 2 or 3 times. And I'm sure that all the streams up to this point are games, me gaming and stuff like that. I've always been a big gaming person. I've always loved video games, just like I love manga. I'm not going away from manga. Maybe we will make streams about manga and things like that. But I wanted to start off streaming what I know how to do, and that is play video games and be really bad at them. So hopefully you've been enjoying that content if you've tuned in. If not, you can go check out the playlist that has all of the, you know, live streams that we've had over there. And I hope you've really enjoyed this video. Go check out the other videos that are over there. They are pretty good. YouTube's recommending them, so they can't be that bad. Let me know what you're reading down in the comments and what you got for this month, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.